we are going to go to the land of crypto venture capital, Electric Capital, which has really risen to prominence in the last year or so. They raised $1 billion venture fund. They're really well known for some of their developer reports in which they look and track developer activity across the space. Hey, they're adding Jay Clayton, ex-SEC chair, to the roster. He's going to be joining as an advisor, along with a former person from the Federal Reserve and someone formerly of Facebook. So interesting to see that they're expanding their advisory roster with some big names. We could go any number of ways with this one, but I'm going to toss it to Jen for her thoughts.
Oh, okay. I thought this was really interesting. I really think this is how we forge the industry forward. So someone like Jay Clayton understands the inner workings of the SEC, understands what can be done when we get this kind of vague information and vague actions. And then when we look at the other two members that were named advisors, so we have Kevin Walsh, who's the former member of the Federal Reserve Board, and Pratiti Ray Chowdhury, Vice President and Research Head at Meta Platforms. I think for the industry to move forward, we need to understand how to play nicely, one with regulators and one with large Web2 platforms who have the audiences we want to onboard onto these different platforms and into the industry. So I think this is really clever. I think we are going to see more of it. And the more ex-SEC employees I think that are employed by the crypto industry, the better. Wendy, what do you think?
I kind of feel like this is a double-edged sword. I understand what you're saying about getting SEC regulators and people who've worked in law to come into the crypto space. But at the same time, it doesn't rub me the right way because we have people that have all they've done is just put out predatory laws against crypto. When has the SEC really worked with any crypto project? Can any of you give a positive interaction where they said, hey, submit this, register with us, report this, and let's work with you. Let's help you be compliant. Let's, not give you a bunch of gray laws. Let's really help push you forward. Have they done that?
Okay, but this is ex-SEC, Wendy. This is the important part here. They're no longer bound by the confines of those walls. They are free to share information and their experience and bring different thinking to organizations.
Yeah, but if they really cared about the crypto industry, don't you think when they were in office, they would have done good or they would have tried to do good? I really think that the SEC had a lot of time, especially since the bull run of 2017, to step in and say, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. This could change, but build, thrive. Let's build the economy back up. Let's get people in jobs. Let's work with you. I just don't see them doing that. And I just can't sit here and praise somebody who sat in office or had a role to kind of really help stifle the industry, but then wants to come in and profit off of us. So that's my only gripe.
The TradFi corollary here, of course, is like the government to hedge fund pipeline we see oftentimes, or the vice versa, right? Where we see like these big hedge fund guys go into government, do a little stint at SEC or some other like ABC government regulatory agency, and then jump back into traditional finance with a nice large bonus, board advisory, some sort of equity, cash, nice salary, right? All the perks that you want. And we see it in crypto, and there's a good reason for it, right? These people, they have experience, they know the inner workings, and more than that, they are a headline, right? The fact that we're talking about Jay Clayton joining this firm speaks a lot to the power of Electric Capital, that they're able to pick up someone like this and put them on their board. It means that they probably have a little bit of dough to throw his way. So as much as like crypto wants to be different, right? It can't be. Like it has to have the same way because it's still dealing with humans. They still want to have these sort of people on their boards. Zach, to you.
I think it's also interesting to see that the VC firms are really leading this conversation, right? There's like this little Fantastic Four, or I don't know what the analogy would be, but there's like all these people from the regulatory cabal back in 2018, 2019, who are now working on behalf of venture capital firms to advance some of the conversations around getting clarity for what digital assets are and aren't. So we have Quintens, who's over at A16Z. We have crypto dad Chris Giancarlo, I think he's with CoinFund in an advisory capacity. Now we have Jay Clayton, obviously doing his thing over Electric. So there's this sort of like, there's this trio, this trifecta, this power group of ex-regulators who are now working on behalf of crypto VCs to potentially advance that conversation in the halls of power. Okay, what is a digital asset security? What is a commodity? How should it be regulated? How do we make this more clear? And I think it's been really interesting to see over the last year that VCs have really taken it upon themselves to fund a lot of that work, right? So that to me is the notable thing here that we're seeing is growing list of ex-regulators join crypto venture capital firms to further these conversations with their old buddies in DC. So that to me stands out, but I don't know. Last thoughts? Will? Jen?
I dig it.
Wendy?
I dig it.
I want to know
Nailed it.
what Hester Peirce is going to do after the SEC. It's going to be something amazing. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Any
Hester's
bets?
actually
Any
done.
bets?
She's actually been one of the only. No, she's done like really amazing stuff for the space. Like she's literally she's put herself out there. She's tried to come up with regulatory clarity. She's proposed things, and nobody has really worked with her on this. So again, for me, it's just really frustrating because we have these people that have been working in the back to essentially stifle our innovation and stifle our growth. But now that they want to profit off of us, so it just doesn't. The punk rock in me just says it doesn't sit right.
Our resident
What's the brass
punk
ring?
rocker.
What would be the prize? Would it be Hester to Coinbase? Like she has the goodwill of the industry. Where should she go? Where could she go? This would be a fantastic prediction market. Let's get on this team.